Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
What am I think? What am I think? You're listening to Popeye News Links. This is the Admiral Tibet who I represent, and remember, the time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. This is Popeye News Links.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. So I'm gonna do this over again because I made a mistake with one of the numbers yesterday. Have you lost your car keys? Do you want a spare key for your push button start motor vehicle? Check with Master Touch Automotive Solutions. They cut keys for all types of motor vehicles. They also do programming digital key cutting. Master Touch. They also do permanent removal of DPF, AD Blue and EGR, allowing your motor vehicle to perform better and use any diesel. Contact them at 876-512-2150. That's 876-512-2150. You can also email them at jpwalla@yahoo.com. Check with Master Touch. You will not be disappointed. Now, in the news today, there is something that I want to address because, like they say, knowledge is power. Yesterday, I told you a story about that constable on your screen. His name is Brenton Wallace. He was seriously injured after the police vehicle he was traveling in crashed at Bluefields Friday evening. Constable Wallace, he received head injuries and he was in an unconscious state. He was flown out to a facility in Kingston yesterday. Now, a lot of persons, they were commenting on the accident. Some persons were attributing the accident to speeding on the part of the police constable who was driving. Now, listen to me carefully. I have no evidence that the officer was speeding, but it is possible that he was speeding. If he was speeding, it is possible that there could be a justification for the speeding, right? Do you agree? Remember now, they were on patrol duties. They were just leaving the Bluefields police station. So is it possible? Yeah, man, is it possible that they were responding to a call? Of course it is possible. Now, the second thing is that some persons were saying that the police, they were not wearing their seatbelts. And yet still, they are quick to give persons ticket when they stop them and they are not wearing theirs. Listen me now. Listen me carefully. Let's put emotions aside and talk about what the law says. This is not about whether or not we like the police. The law exempts certain categories of persons from wearing seatbelt. Look on your screen. That was taken from the Road Traffic Act. It is entitled Exemptions from Wearing Seatbelt. It states there are exemptions in the law setting out the conditions under which one would not be committing an offense if he were not wearing a seatbelt. Number 1, a child who is being conveyed in a child restraint system. Number 2, a driver who is reversing. Number 3, a person who holds a valid certificate of exemption prescribed by the minister and signed by a registered medical practitioner. Let me skip 4 for now and go on to 5. Number 5, a person driving or riding in a vehicle constructed or adapted for the delivery of goods or mail to consumers or premises, as the case may be, while engaged in the delivery to or collection of goods or mail from consumers or premises, not further than 60 meters from each other. Now, let me go back to number 4. A person who is riding in a vehicle while it is being used for fire brigade or police purposes. So, this does not only apply to the police or the fire personnel. It says a person riding in a motor vehicle while it is being used for fire brigade or police purposes. So, by law, we are talking about law, you know. Constable Wallace, he was not required to wear his seatbelt. If you want to view the issue from a safety standpoint, that's different. But next time you see a fireman in a fire brigade or a police in a police vehicle and they are not wearing their seatbelts, they are not breaking the law. Got it? So, as it relates to Constable Wallace, we are told that he was slated to do a surgery today. The last time I checked, he was still here with us. Let's hope he stays here with us. For persons who know Wallo, as he's affectionately called, all you can hear persons saying is that Wallo is a good boy. Let's keep hope alive. Now, in yesterday's video, I told you about an accident that took place along the Orange Bay Main Road in the parish of Hanover. Watch this video. So, if you notice, the female, she was sitting on the left side of the car. We are told that when she realized what was about to happen, she jumped from the right side to the left side of the car. She was actually the driver, and the car, it is a right-hand drive car. You understand? Now, we are told that that female, she's popularly known as Damian, and she's an entertainer at one of the Rio hotels in Negril. She was on her way to work, and we are told that she was late for work. As a result, it is said that she did a burn-up road. We are also told that she suffered some broken bones and is not yet out of the hoods. Let's keep hope alive. In this next story, we are learning that on Thursday, a 16-year-old schoolboy, he's popularly known as CJ, and he's a student at the Irwin High School in the parish of St. James. It is said that he's living in the Farm Heights area. We are told that CJ, he was at the transportation center at Creek Street in Montego Bay. It is said that CJ, he was waiting on transportation to go to school when a group of guys, to include school students who CJ, he was involved in a conflict with. They attacked CJ with knives and other weapons. CJ, he was beaten and stabbed. The guys, they then made good their escape. We are told that CJ, along with other injuries, he received stab wounds to the left side of his forehead and the left side of his abdomen. He was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was treated and admitted in a serious condition. And let me tell you something. Trust me when I tell you. This is how many mayhem starts in Jamaica. It is called reprisals. It is called revenge. Ah boy. Now, in this next story, we are learning that last night, Saturday, September 23, about some minutes after 11 o'clock, A group of persons, they were gathered at a little cookshop at 3 Miles River in the parish of Westmoreland when two hoodlums rode up on a bike. The hoodlums, they brandished guns and they proceeded to rob the operator of the cookshop and the customers of cash and cell phones. The hungry belly hoodlums, they also took the food that the chef was preparing to be served to two customers. They then made good their escape on the said motorcycle. And you know what the truth is? About 6 persons were robbed and none of them bothered to report it to the police. That is why, over the years when I hear statistics come out and persons are gloating that crime is down, I always tell persons, the reality on the ground is different. Crimes are being committed against some persons and them nobody report it. That is the sad truth. But over in the parish of St. James, 2 hoodlums, they were not so lucky. We are learning that early yesterday morning, Saturday, September 23, about some minutes to 2 o'clock, a taxi driver, he said to be in his late 50s. He was inside the white 2013 Toyota Probox motorcar that he used to operate as a taxi. He was at Creek Street in Montego Bay waiting on passengers when 2 guys, 2 teenagers, approached him. The young hoodlums, they told the driver that they wanted to charter him to take them to Tucker Irwin in St. James. The driver, he agreed on a price with them. One of them sat in the front and the other one, he sat on the back seat of the car. They drove off and on reaching in the vicinity of Irwin Point, the young hoodlum who was seated on the back seat, he put an object to the driver's head. The one in the front, he commanded the driver to stop. Otherwise, he might go get gunshots. The driver, he stopped the car and they instructed him to come out. The driver, he complied and came out of the car. We are told that one of the hoodlums, he pointed the gun at the driver who is almost 60 years old head. The other hoodlum, he held the driver who is almost 60 years old by his neck and squeezed it. He then searched the driver and robbed him of his cell phone and 2,000 Jamaican dollars that he had in his pants pocket. The 2 hoodlums, they then drove away in the Toyota Probox motor car. Hear this now, hear this. The driver for the car, he's not the owner for the car, and we are told that late in the night, in the early morning I should say, the owner, he got up and he checked to see where the car was. Yes, there's a tracking device on the car. It was tracked along the Hopewell Main Road in the parish of Hanover. The owner for the car, he tried calling the driver, but no answer. As a result, the owner, he contacted the police and told them what he suspected was happening. The owner, listen this, the owner, he then shut down the car and a team of police officers, they went to where the car stopped. The 2 young hoodlums, they were still in the car. They were searched by the police and the driver's cell phone as well as the 2,000 Jamaican dollars that they robbed from the driver was found. An imitation firearm, yeah man, that is what they used to juke down the driver. An imitation firearm was also found wrapped in a black handkerchief in the front section of the car. We are told that the driver, he was able to point out the 2 young hoodlums as the ones who robbed him. As a result, they were charged. Now, one of them, he told the police that his name is Omari Watson, but it was soon found out that he gave the police wrong name because this was not the first or second time he was getting into trouble with the law. His correct name is O'Neil Dennis. He was born on August 4, 2007, only 16 years old. He's living at Tucker Irwin in the parish of St. James. The other one, his name is Alvin Douglas. He was born on November 14, 2008. Not even 15 years old as yet. He's living at Estuary in the parish of St. James. Both of them, they were charged for robbery with aggravation and other charges. And the two of them, they'll be going to the courts shortly. Boy, I tell you, I am telling you. Can you imagine the monsters these two are going to become if they continue? Now, in this next story, I told you about an incident that took place on Saturday night, September 9, about minutes to 9 o'clock. That incident, it took place at Tarver Circle in the Cumberland area of Portmore in the parish of St. Catherine. I told you that a 44-year-old taxi driver, his name is Damian Clarke, but he was popularly known as Theo. Theo, he was at his home when he drove out on the road to buy rum and boom. He returned home about 15 minutes later. As Theo parked his car at his gate and he got out, he was approached by a hoodlum who opened gunfire at him, hitting Theo in his head, killing him on the spot. The hoodlum, he then made good his escape on foot in the area. So the police, they commenced investigation and a suspect was identified. On Tuesday of last week, September 19, the police, they carried out a raid and the suspect was picked up. His name is Christopher Davis, but he's popularly known as Teacha or Chris. He is 28 years old and he's living at West Abbey Place in the Cumberland area of Portmore in the parish of St. Catherine. Yesterday, Teacha, he was questioned in the presence of his lawyer and he was officially charged. He was charged for 1. Murder. 2. Conspiracy to murder. 3. Possession of prohibited weapon. And 4. Unauthorized possession of ammunition. And he'll be going to the courts shortly. The mayhem. So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all so that whenever we drop a new video, you'll be one of the first to be notified. In the final story for today, this one took place last night, Saturday, September 23, about 10:30. It took place at Lennonville Road in the Old Harbour area of St. Catherine. We are learning that a man, his name is Lambert Simpson. On February 6, earlier this year, Lambert, he celebrated his 50th birthday. Lambert was a taxi driver and he lived at Lennonville Road. We are told that Lambert, he was on the road all day yesterday, hustling for himself and his family. He finished working last night and he decided to go home, but he did not know the danger that awaited him. About 10:30 last night, Lambert, he drove home in the grey Toyota Probox motorcar with registration number PM 0131 that he used to operate as a taxi. Lambert, he reached home, parked and came out of the car. As he came out, he was approached by 2 hoodlums who were armed with guns. The hoodlums, they opened gunfire hitting Lambert in his upper body. Lambert fell to the ground and the 2 hoodlums, they searched him, took away his money and the car keys and drove away with the car, making good their escape. The police were called, but by the time they reached, Lambert had already died. It is suspected that he died on the spot. When the police processed this crime scene, 3 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend, for tell a friend, for tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Vlog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them no out can't tame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane. Everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of the gun. East and north and south when me turn. Country and town, man a play blood a run. Murder, don't you baby me hear them a murder. Cut it out, tell them